Wearing my Broncos jacket. Will it make them win? Who knows? Sometimes they're just on their own. We want to talk this morning just for a couple of seconds about pastors and addictions. I know that's a contradictory term to some people because pastors don't have any problems and nothing in their life is ever out of balance. That's why we read about them on the internet all the time and see them on the news and see where great ministries are crashing and falling, and many smaller ones that would never make the news. Pastors and addictions. The question is hollowness of testimony. Is it wrong to share that you were delivered from drugs, violence, anger, pornography, whatever it might have been? Is it wrong to testify that you have been delivered from something if you still have reoccurring temptations? That was the question. And the answer is that many ministers have a hollowness of testimony because they share their testimony as a completed fact. And of course our salvation is a completed fact, but yet it's being walked out. And we can share how in 1984 or in 1996 or in 2001 that God did this miracle in my life and He delivered me from A, B, C, D, E, or F. One of my favorites is a fellow that used to give his testimony all the time how God had delivered him instantly from smoking. Of course, he didn't tell people that he had been back smoking, that he quit smoking for 10 years, and he went back smoking for another 10 years. And he always, people kept asking for his testimony, and when he would give it, he would feel so hollow on the inside, and he was sharing an incomplete testimony. There are times we need to be able to share the real testimony so that other people in the pews, people on your leadership board, elders, other pastors will understand that just because God delivered you from something in 1980 something, 1990 something, 2012, whatever the number would be, 2015, that there's maintenance involved in deliverance. Now, that was hilarious. We're talking about maintenance and deliverance, and the very thing I was sitting on collapsed from underneath me. That's what happens when we have a foundation that is based on my testimony is what God did in the 80s or the 90s or 2015, when true deliverance has to be maintained and walked out in the fact that I need Jesus every day. And without Him, 5 years of free, 10 years of free, 50 years of free are not permanent. The only permanent thing is my deliverer. And when I start to balance myself on any other thing, I am subject to fall. The Scripture says, let him that thinks he stands take heed lest he fall.